Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my opinion. India have won their third T20 World Cup. Aditya has made his appearance on this channel after a few videos. What were your thoughts about this match?
Hi everyone. Great win for India again. Dominant performance, you have to say. I mean, from the start, I don't think New Zealand were in it at any point of the game. But I think from the toss, you could, you have to question Mitchell Santner's decisions for bowling first. I did not understand that whatsoever. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought they lost the match at the toss itself. Now, looking at the playing 11s, and I'll talk about New Zealand in a bit. For India, I'd said Tilak Verma should open the batting because of the seam movement in Ahmedabad. Rinku Singh should play ahead of Abhishek Sharma. Kuldeep should play ahead of Varun and Siraj ahead of Dubey. I reckon even if India had made those changes, they would have won. And I think it's where, and credit has to be given to the team management because Sanju Samson, with the way he's played in these three innings, knockout matches, similar to Rohit Sharma's previous T20 World Cup campaign, where he scored the 92 versus Australia and the 57 versus England, and that was what got India through to the final where they won that. And Sanju Samson versus West Indies, then the semi-final versus England, and now here, fantastic performances. And Abhishek Sharma, I said with the way he's been dismissed. Ashwin talked about the technical point where he's not got shots on the leg side versus spinners, but I thought it was also a combination of ego, opponents playing to the ego. And people may not talk about this, but I thought the first few deliveries, the way he played before he started playing more expansive shots, the team management have got to be given credit for that. He was playing shots, for example, running the ball down to third man at the start, and a measured approach in the first few deliveries, then playing expansively. If he does that with the ability he has, then there may not. And thinking of a limit for Abhishek Sharma will be difficult. So credit to the team management for that. Jerome Dubé, I'd said Siraj should play him not because he hasn't been doing well, but it's because of team combination for the bowling. Jerome Dubé, the moment Jimmy Neesham bowled the last over, I knew he was going to get a minimum of 20. He got a vital contribution at the end after a few wickets fell. And so I think he's done very well in this T20 World Cup. So the management deserve the credit for the decisions that they have made. And for New Zealand, I'd said Cole McConkie should play. And I also said Jacob Duffy should play, and they did play him. But we were talking about this. I thought they lost at the toss, yes, but even before. I think New Zealand, and especially in T20s, we saw maybe they have got a few matches of results before. For example, in the T20 World Cup, they beat Australia in the group stage match, the first match they played. But I feel here they think of themselves as trying to win and as if the situation is not in their favor. So the previous, so I think yesterday, Mitchell Santner, he implied India are favorites to be will try and win. And the moment when you think you're lesser going into a challenge, then I don't think you are, especially against a team like India in India, well, let alone in India and anywhere. So I think that you are not giving yourself the best chance to succeed in a negative decision at the toss, as you said. And that's what it meant. You didn't were not going to win this match. What do you think about the mentality of New Zealand coming into this match?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I watched the pre-match interview that he gave yesterday, and I was pretty surprised. I mean, I remember him saying, "We know that India are the favorites," which if you're going into a final, that's not something that you say. Like, we know India are the favorites, but it would be nice to perhaps break a few hearts and finally win a trophy. Almost like they're just frustrated. So yeah, I think the game was lost before the match even started, you could say, and even the toss. I don't understand why. Again, I don't understand why they chose to bowl first. In terms of the openers with India, the openers set the tone. Really, I mean, Sanju Samson finally, firing in the right moments. He didn't have a great start to the tournament, or in that little phase leading up to the World Cup, he didn't have a great start. And then
He
Sanju
didn't
Samson,
play the start, I think. He didn't play at the start. He didn't play in the series beforehand.
yeah, he was a bit down. His confidence wasn't there, but he came in and he contributed at the right time. Abhishek Sharma, you are completely right about what you said. He took his time at the start, took a few balls to see himself in. And then what happened was, but I also feel like New Zealand didn't bowl to him well. I mean, someone like Jacob Duffy, he put deep point and deep covers, and he was bowling short balls, which he was just pulling over square leg, which I didn't really understand. But after a while, once Abhishek Sharma got confident, he started moving across his stumps, and then he's purposefully hitting where the fielders weren't. So, which is something that I like to see. And as soon as Abhishek Sharma got off over 30 runs, I knew that he was going to get 50 or even more. And 6 overs, 90 odd in the power play, it wasn't, the game was always done there. I mean, I don't think New Zealand even had the bowling to restrict India beyond that. What the only chance they had was if Matt Henry took some wickets with the new ball, which he didn't. He didn't bowl properly with the new ball today. He did bowl well in the first few balls that he
The
bowled.
first 4 balls, yeah.
Yeah, he did. And then he just started bowling short, giving Sanju runs today. And yeah, after he went for runs, yeah, I don't think anyone. Mitch Santner did bowl well. I think Mitch Santner was the only person who bowled well today. And surprisingly, Jimmy Neesham, who at the back end got some wickets when everyone was just going.
The 1 over he bowled well. Apart from that, he got. I didn't.
I mean, when everyone's, when you cross 214 overs, and everyone's just going to go for it, you're obviously going to get wickets in the back end. But I don't know why they didn't play Paul McConkey. He's a good bowler. They should have played him instead of Neesham. I mean, I don't understand Neesham's role in the team. But overall today, the thing is, India outplayed New Zealand in every single department. They had better batting and better bowlers as well. So, yeah.
And you say about bowling plans, and I agree with you, because we were also talking about where there was a ball, I think Jacob Duffy bowled a full toss where Abhishek Sharma had straight down the ground with both middle and mid-off up. And then when he walked across the stumps, yes, but it was because it was a slower, short one, but all the fielders on the leg side were inside the circle. And we've seen this in the bilateral series versus India as well. When a batsman scores 2 boundaries, this New Zealand fast bowling attack, and in that series of spinners as well, they do not know how to respond. You saw the Mitchell Santner bowled today, and the reason why they could play him out because they knew how many runs they were getting off the fast bowlers. I'd said Matt Henry bowling with the new balls their only chance, and after the first over he didn't bowl well. Jacob Duffy, I'd said he hadn't been in great form going into this match, and he bowls defensively when he goes for runs. He did that today. And Lockie Ferguson had said he bowls shorter of a length. He got to bowl full and Ahmedabad. He bowled short 2 overs 48. Having said that, he should have bowled the last over and should have James Neesham. But 2 overs, he went for 48 because he didn't hit the correct lengths and he does not bowl full. So the defensive bowling that we've seen New Zealand exhibits in the bilateral series versus India, we saw that once again today. And not playing Cole McConkey was the wrong decision. I was surprised they didn't play. And I think, as you said, negative decision at the toss. And it's also combined with the mentality, combined with the fearful thinking that manifested for New Zealand in this match. And now going to the second innings on India, I'd said Kuldeep should play ahead of Varun. And this match he went for runs, but I think there's one positive. Well, first of all, he wasn't brought on in the power play. And secondly, Ashwin said on his channel that to the left-hander, he's been going around the wicket. He's gone for runs. At the start, he went around the wicket in the first over. And even going over the wicket, he went for runs when Mitchell Santner was batting. However, I think it's a step in the right direction where he went over the wicket to the left-handers, which is his strength. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I don't know why Arshdeep Singh was taken off when he bowled his first over. In fact, the ball that he bowled early on where he got the in-swing of the first ball of the second innings, that was better than any ball New Zealand bowler bowled in the first innings. And this is why, on the topic of apparently the pitch being rigged, which is the usual discourse whenever India win, it's where in Ahmedabad, if you know the conditions, you bowl full, the ball moves around. Matt Henry was capable of doing that, but after the first 4 balls, he didn't do so. Mitchell Santner bowls none for 33 in that if the pitch is that much of a road, and Arshdeep Singh gets swing the first ball that he bowls. So clearly, it is a pitch which is sporting. It's just when one team is playing fearfully and another team knows that they will win. And India going to this match, they would have known what happened in the bilateral series and New Zealand would play with fear. That's why they were also confident. They knew they just took a bit of time early on. They would be able to do what they did. So I think it's a bit of a big surprise to them how the match went. So that is on that. So what do you think about India's bowling changes?
India's bowling change. Look, you have when you're defending 250 and then you have 4 overs of Jasprit Bumrah who bowled outstanding. He's a cheat code. I just think. I mean, you're not bowling. You're not playing against England, who have a really deep batting lineup, and who have clearly. There's a difference. There's a clear difference in skill level between England and New Zealand in terms of everything, batting and bowling, I would say. So you're not playing against that. They can't really bat after Daryl Mitchell, and there's only 2 players who can really win you the game, which is their 2 openers. I would argue. So when considering that, I don't think the bowling changes and stuff like that it didn't really play a part in this game. They batted New Zealand out of the game. India. The top 3, Ishan Kishan, Sanju Samson, and Abhishek Sharma sealed the game for India. That's what happened there, clearly. And in terms of, when you're saying people are saying the pitch is rigged and stuff like that. See, in the semi-final, India got 250 odd as well against England, right? England gave a great reply, scored but nearly chased it down, got more than 240. For that match, people were saying, "Oh, what an effort by England! What a game this was! A brilliant semi-final. This, that." But when India steamrolled New Zealand in the final, people are starting to say, "Oh, this their fixers. The pitch is getting rigged. This, that, the BCCI." The issue here is that there's a clear level in skill between New Zealand and England. New Zealand are not England. Like England or South Africa, we discussed this, would have given a better fight. So and if the pitch was really that bad and it was rigged, why didn't New Zealand even get to 200? Why did they struggle so much? And it's not like India have that threatening of a bowling attack as well. They have Jasprit Bumrah, but they could have. They could have. If they had the batting, they could have got close, which they didn't. So I feel like this game in New Zealand were just outplayed in every single department. That's what happened here.
The only reason I asked the bowling change is because I thought Ashdeep Singh could have bowled an extra over than Akshar Patel would have still got the break that he got. Ashwin Saran's channel where Akshar Patel to Finn Allen, and we saw that. But he's also had a problem against left arm seamers, so I think Ashdeep could have bowled another one. That's the only reason why I said bowling changes. But as you said, you told me this where you've got a team like New Zealand who are considered nice guys. And people always call them nice guys. Now, England and Australia, they're not nice guys. But they don't think of themselves as lesser. Especially what England and Australia have won one test in the last 4 attempts. The next time they go there, they're not going to say, "Oh, if we can, we'll do something." You'd rather be like that than be a nice guy for what? In the longer formats and ODIs, New Zealand have competed. But in this T20 World Cup, in the last while, from that India bilateral series, I knew they were going to struggle against India in this kind of a stimulus because of being defensive. It's a trend. It's something you've seen in the IPO as well, where reputed bowlers, have gone for runs due to being defensive. But you'd rather be in a case where even if you don't win, you don't think of yourselves as less. What do you think?
See, that's what I'm saying. Even if you're bordering on arrogance, I think it has a chance to work well for you as opposed to just being, you know, just accepting defeat even before the match starts. So, for example, in South Africa, the coach, he said India is going to grovel, this, that. I don't condone the comment. It was a bad comment to make, but you'd rather have that mindset saying we're going to win this rather than, oh, we're not the favourites, but we'll just turn up for a good day. Hopefully we'll win. We'll see what happens. That's clearly what happened in New Zealand today. Do you remember in the 2023 World Cup, Pat Cummins was sure, he said, well, we're going to silence the crowd tomorrow, wait and watch. And even if it didn't go to plan, at least they
He wasn't
had
wrong
that.
for saying it. He wasn't wrong for saying it.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's like, in England, once India scored 250, they weren't out of the game. They knew, we have the batting, we're going to come close. Like, we have the power and the skills to be able to chase this down. So, see, that's what I think New Zealand need to work on is, just be a bit more have a bit more intent and aggression in your game.
I think intent also comes from what they do before the tournament, because if you're selecting for an ICC event, and if someone tells me selecting Istodi, you're selecting Jimmy Neesham, and in T20s, Devon Conway, we've said before as well, where he's got a bat swing issue, so he doesn't have the power hitting. And then the other guy's Kyle Jamieson, who knows how many runs he would have gone for if he played today. So if you've got those four options who can't fit into the playing 11, then you have other options you can pick. You're going for more reputed players because you think that you have more trust in them. There's someone called Bevan Jacobs, for example, middle order player. I haven't tried him. You've got Tim Robinson, there's Josh Clarkson. These aren't players who've had big reputations and not been in the circuit for a long time. But right now, I'd take any of those players and play them in the 11 and play Jimmy Neesham. I mean, he bats after Mitchell Santner, and he got that 3 wickets when the score's 197 for 1 in 15. When the match is already over, he picks up those 3 wickets, and then when he bowled the last over, no one was surprised that he went for runs. So I think really brave in selection, and truthfully, they may not want to do this. But Ravindra, he's been dismissed playing the flick shot often, and we saw in this match again. But I feel in terms of structuring their batting lineup better with the personnel that they've got to play Darrow Mitchell 3, Finn Allen, Rachin Ravindra to open, and Tim Seifert at 4 because he's been batting in the middle order for many years. He's only been opening consistently now. So I think that's the kind of thing where I've got Tim Seifert still be able to score runs at number 4. What are your thoughts?
See, I think Rachin Ravindra should only open. There's no other position for him. He's an extremely talented player. He's one of those few players actually that can switch gears. He's a all format player. He's someone who can stick around and play sensibly as well as power the ball, smack the ball around as well. So, see if he opens, and I feel like he just plays more freely and he doesn't play these like loose shots when he opens. I mean, he gets starts when he opens, if you notice, and he just needs someone to tell him and help him to give him that advice, saying don't just play careless shots like that. If you stick around, there's always going to be someone who's going to hit at the other end, right? You should stick around, and you have the ability to change gears whenever you need to. So, someone should tell him that. But yeah, apart from that, I think New Zealand today was he just came in, he was under pressure straight away.
And I think the thing is, you should stop going for the flick as a compulsive option. We've seen it being dismissed in the leg side, even in the bilateral series. I don't think there's anything else to talk about this match because we all expected a one-sided final, but to see it happen, it's where as if one team is ready. How can we win this match? We've got to the final. The other team, they have skill, but what is stopping them to win is because they don't make the correct tactical decisions in this case, where the 4 players who I mentioned in a T20 tournament, they aren't going to do something. That they aren't going to do okay, they don't have as much of a size of a player pool as other teams, but I still think there's enough talent. New Zealand is a T20 league, which is going to start as well in 1 or 2 years' time. And I think they've got to look from that and the player pools they have and not go by reputation. If Trent Bolt left the central contract, and I think in this case, if you're still going with these players, you've got reputation, you've got to think, okay, Trent Bolt left the contract, then we got a Wu O'Rourke, for example, who emerged not too long after that. They've got to not pick players of reputation, and they've got to include new talent. That's what I'd say about them. Have you got anything else to add in this match?
Yeah, definitely. I think India should be really proud of themselves, the way that they've played throughout this tournament. As I've said, they've batted every opposition out. Their batting is the thing that won them the game, won them the tournament. So I mean, obviously they've got Jasprit Bumrah, who he's just unbelievable. I mean, no one can play him today. Bowled amazingly well today again. But someone like we should talk more about someone like Ishan Kishan, who before this World Cup, he wasn't even in the frame of the thing. He was someone who scored runs in domestic and literally just broke down the doors, and now he's in the Indian team and he's won them He's played a big part in winning them the tournament. So I think, yeah, they should be really happy with themselves the way that they've played, and yeah, I'm very proud of them as an
And for
Indian
me,
fan.
so I don't have anything else to add. If you enjoyed this video, go and subscribe, share with friends. These are our opinions. What are yours?